we seem to not have this issue. So for Kung Fu Havoc number 2, you're late. I'm addressing my video that I posted here earlier. All right, the thing, the thing that I put out there is that one, here's the hardcore truth: both sides were completely wrong. However, the kid getting jerked up, I'm gonna be honest, y'all ain't gonna like it. The kid that was being jerked up, he kind of escalated this shit way beyond the point of no return. His friends, his siblings, everybody was trying to de-escalate the shit. Black pride kicked in. Because you know when black pride kick in, and a lot of black people are going to be mad at me for saying this, but since I'm mixed, I'm going to say it anyway, and you're either going to deal with it or you're not. When black pride kicks in, it don't kick in the first gear. That shit skips straight into fucking overdrive. And black pride will always be one of the things that causes a lot of us people of color to get fucked up. If your skin is brown, you still going down. You might not go down as hard, but your ass is still going down. I'm not here to be racist. Any race, because I'm mixed with the 3 primary races of America, I'm gonna put you on the spot, and you're either gonna like it, you're gonna deal with it, or you're not. I'm part Cherokee, I'm part black, and I'm part white. And when race is involved, everyone gets mad. Alright? That video, I was mad, but after watching it like 3 or 4 times and posting it 3 or 4 times on my Kung Fu Havoc 2 channel, I tend to understand that when you watch shit from the outside, 2 things that you gotta understand, as I just said 4 seconds ago. Whenever these videos with cops doing things wrong are displayed, we never see it from why the cops showed up. We only see it when shit go from 0 to 1,000 in less than a split second. Like in that video that I posted and that I shared, and that I made 3 videos on Kung Fu Havoc number 2 about that y'all can go check out, because they're up now. When things go wrong and any race is involved, black, white, Asian, whatever the fuck the race is, that's when it starts getting to the overload part. Then whoever is of that race gets offended extensively without knowing how the situation took place in the first place. Alright? 9 times out of 10, because I have been in like probably a little bit of trouble with the law, we call it speeding tickets. I've been handcuffed twice. I've never been to jail, thank God. And I've never done the shit that I seen in this video. I've always been told by my father, by my mom, cooperate with the cops. Because if you don't, you might not come home. Or you're going to come home in a box. It doesn't take much for a cop to set a person up either. There are no saints in the world. Okay, if you're like the Pope or something, you might be a saint and Mother Teresa's gone. So let's keep this shit real. You know, in foreign countries, there doesn't seem to be a big stigma on race as it is in America. When I've gone to Canada, I've never been a half-breed. I've never been a nigger. I've never been a nigger chink. I've never been, hey, mutt. You know, I'm okay with the mutt. But I'm not okay with the nigger. I'm not okay with chief. Those are the 2 worst things that you can ever call me if you ever meet me. Do not call me chief, especially. Because I apparently look more like a Native American than I do as a black man. But since I'm both, I don't like neither one of those, because chief is just wrong. If anything, I'm a scout. Anyway, that being said, I figured I'd lighten the mood with that. But, you know, that being said, when we watch these videos, we never catch why the cop is there. I'm not pro police officer. I'm pro right and wrong. Alright? The wrong thing is how quickly a situation can go from 0 to 1,000 without nobody knowing what the hell's happening. In the video I posted, little Mr. Reggie there wouldn't stop. His siblings tried to stop him. They tried to de-escalate the situation. They complimented the cop to try to not so much as throw him off his game, but calm him down a bit. That shit won't happen. And Reggie was antagonizing. And here's the thing. When you can't admit to your own guilt, you're only going to make shit worse. And that's what he did. I played the video on my video like 5 times. 2 or 3 times for each video. So it might have been more than 5 times. But the point of the matter is, I too am guilty of grabbing somebody by the back of the neck. You know, there was a rage intense moment. Cop lost his cool. You know, which is why they also give you sensitivity training in law enforcement. It's like a required thing. Now, especially if you're going to be out in the field, your sensitivity training is everything. Now, the thing with that, everybody's going to look at this video and they're going to be like, oh, you all about that cop. You all about that cop. No, the cop lost his job. The cop could have been suspended. The cop could have been expelled. I'm about what I saw. And what I saw was a kid getting jerked up by a cop after his friends tried to de-escalate the situation, his brother tried to de-escalate the situation, and Black Pride went right up that kid's ass and said, I'm gonna fuck with this cop. Now, they both got some shit this guy to deal with. The kid's probably gonna be traumatized and never trust another cop. His friends probably all went to jail that day because of his dumb ass not doing what he should have just done, which was comply. The guy asked him to put the cigarette out. He put the cigarette out. Right then and there, the shit was calming down. But then I guess he must have whispered something that the phone didn't pick up. Because the cop said, do you have a problem with me? And then the kid goes, no, do you have a problem with me? And then it just kept going. The kid tells the cop, look, my brother's special. Just all I'm saying. Then he tries to de-escalate it by, I like your ring. The younger brother's the smartest one in the whole damn bunch. Because he's trying to keep shit cool. Yeah, some officers fake it and make it through sensitive. Yeah, that is true. A lot of people don't understand it. Sensitivity training is mandatory. However, some people are there and just don't pay a damn bit of attention. You are 1,000% correct, Craig. But in that video, I'm not saying that the cop is correct. I'm just saying that the cop could have went about that a different way. He could have grabbed him by the back of the arm and probably put his arm behind his back as he's going into the procedural grip and push and cuff. However, that ain't what the cop did. The cop did a straight black daddy thing and grabbed the kid by the back of the damn neck, which is not what they teach you in the police academy or in the military. That's like a last ditch grab in case somebody's beating your ass or something. This kid was way smaller than the cop. Cop's like a giant compared to this kid. The kid's bigger than me, but he's smaller than the cop. But everybody looks bigger on TV. I learned that at GalaxyCon. Anyway, and 5'3" ain't as short as everybody thinks it is. But, with the whole thing, it didn't have to get that far. The cop should have kept his fucking cool. He's dealing with a fucking teenager. We've all been teenagers. We've all known that most teenagers I've ever met, myself included, are guilty as fuck of being smartasses. But the thing with that is, I know cops. I know how dangerous their jobs are. I was in the military, so I definitely know how dangerous it is out here in the world. When I swore my oath of service to protect us all from foreign and domestic terrorists, I never ever really considered that there would be domestic terrorists. That shows you how dumb I am, because you live in America. This country was built on the bloods of our ancestors, and the robbing and the pillaging of land that never really belonged to us. In America, we are the only country that does not admit to our great shames of slavery and reservations and entrapment camps for people who didn't even need to be there. We will not acknowledge that shit. It's one of those black stamps in history that we know it happened, but we're going to sweep it under the rug. Just like the other day when they were talking about reparations on The View and shit like that. But yeah, as a teenager and as a smart ass, I learned real quick from my dad that's not the shit to do with the cops. You can get away with that shit in your neighborhood. Old man says something, you go set a bag of shit on his porch and put it on fire. That's the shit my dad and them used to do. My dad told me if I ever did, he'd break my ass. So I became a smart ass. Shit did fly out my mouth. And if he ain't catch it, but if he did catch it, there was some stern talking to done. My mom generally was the person that whooped my ass. But by the time I was a teenager, I much rather had got ass whoopings than got grounded. And I got grounded all the damn time. And sometimes it was probably for some shit that came up my mouth that I didn't think that she heard. But this kid didn't try to help himself. His brothers did. His friends did. They even tried to help him when the cop jerked him up, And the guy that came at the cop with the big orange shirt on, he was giant. He was as tall as the cop. He wasn't solid. He wasn't out like built, but he was still solid. Which again, the cop probably felt a little threatened, And if you go watch my videos, you'll understand all the threatening talk and shit. But the thing is, we have to teach our kids better. We have to teach them, did you know, after that whole Trayvon Martin shit, man, we can't be having our kids go out here just flying off at the mouth and not complying, because our kids will be coming home in a box. And things like that, tend to, my TV's about to malfunction. Sorry. Things like that, there it is. Things like that continue to happen with like Trayvon and shit, and it only goes worse than that, because then it becomes racial. Once it becomes racial, it becomes even a bigger problem with the world, and then we all tend to just go overboard. Once we start going overboard, it becomes a big clusterfuck, and then once it starts getting to be a clusterfuck, it starts becoming political, and then everybody starts going, you're either going to go this side or this side, but no one's called that shit right down the middle. As my videos, I explain to everybody, I'm calling this shit down the middle, because to be honest, there were no winners here. We don't know if that cop was a good cop. We don't know if he was a bad cop. We just know the motherfucker got fired, for grabbing a kid by the back of the fucking neck, which he clearly was in the wrong and should not have done. He let his rage overtake his judgment. So he made a bad judgment call, and it cost him everything. Where, again, the kid's friends and his family tried to de-escalate the situation, and sadly, Black Pride jumped up this kid's ass, and the kid decided, well, I'm going to go ahead and do something stupid. We got to talk to our children. We have to. I don't give a damn what your race is. We have to talk to our children. We have to teach them the do's and don'ts with cops. I'm a person who's never resisted the police. Let me get that straight right now, because I was raised to not resist the police. Mixed or not, my skin tone is still brown and my ass will still go down. But I know how to talk to police officers with respect, which is why I've never been slammed on a car of a hood and never slammed on the ground or none of the other shit, because I'm going to comply, alright? As a soldier, the only people I'm not supposed to comply with is the enemy. I'm not supposed to give them nothing. They can take my life, but they can't make me talk. That's what my job is as infantry. I'm not supposed to talk. And if I gotta rip my own damn tongue out, then that's what I need to do. Now, a human body can only take so much pain and suffering before they talk. It's just a given. We're all human. We all have a certain pain threshold. The mental pain threshold is stronger than the physical pain threshold. But there are times, and I tell this to my nieces, I tell this to my nephews, and I'll tell it to everybody here on Facebook. There are times when you need to learn how to shut the fuck up. Period. When you need to just be silent. That's it. That situation with the cop, again, we only came in at the third of the event. We didn't see the origin of the event. We just picked up from it's a minute and 19 seconds, so you guys can go find it. But it's already viral, so I'm sure it won't be that difficult. We come into these videos, we done missed this much. And this much is the difference maker. No. And that is true, Craig. Some kids just don't learn. But you can learn the easy way or you can learn the hard way. I've never been a person to learn the hard way. And I try to teach kids, the second reason why I want to make Kung Fu movies, besides I can teach Kung Fu for free, is so that kids will have a person to go to, a place where they will be free and safe, and they will learn respect through discipline of martial arts. We don't have any schools like that. Not here in Virginia, probably not anywhere in America where we can teach kids, look, there's another way. What you see everybody else do ain't for you. So don't do that. You got to find your own path. You can't always follow the crowd, because sometimes you're going to follow the crowd into a hail of bullets. Got to know where to go if you're getting in a stampede. Yeah, my mom would say that too. Quit while you're ahead. Most people don't do that. It's a pride thing. I mostly see it in kids of color. I can't really say that I've seen white pride really fuck with anybody, except for in our 2 years ago racial clusterfuck here in Charlottesville where Miss Hire died, 2 state cops died, and there was a big fucking riot all over the place that never needed to happen in the first place over some motherfucking statues, which more statues, by the way, I've done videos on this, more statues are coming to the forefront about Native American stuff. They're doing stuff about the Sacagawea statue, but now they're also targeting the George Rogers Clark statue and him pointing rifles at Native Americans. Okay, I'm all for Native Americans having statues just like everyone else should have statues because I'm also part Native American. But we need more statues that represent peace and not like war memorials that represent shit that is a permanent stain on this country. Every country has had a civil war. Just because you have not read about it does not mean that it did not happen. The China versus Nepal thing still kind of going on. China versus China right now is still going on with the whole clusterfuck of the protesting and all this other shit. There's a lot of things going on in your own country that most people aren't even fucking aware of because they don't pay attention and they all suffer from head and ass syndrome. That being said, if we can't fix this problem, it's going to continue to be a problem. And the thing with that is, most people don't want to sit down and listen. Most people suffer from head and ass syndrome and don't know it. They don't want to fix it. They just want to contribute to the problem. When we had our riot here, I'm going to call it like I see it. I'm going to say it like I weigh it. There have been people who have been hurt. They're still waiting for their cases to go through with Mr. Fields for plowing through them with his car and all that shit. The city of Charlottesville found things for us to do. And by us, I mean the people of color, the anti-protesters against the alt-right movement and the white supremacy shit. Alright? Call it like it is. The city put, events in place to get people to go to them. That shit backfired big time. Because the anti-protesters and everybody who wanted to be there showed up to hear what the racist people had to say. They had a lot of white people who were mad at the white people who were racist. Because Charlottesville has been known to be a racist-ass city. I know, I've been here for 45 years of my life. And that shit went to hell in a handbasket. Yeah, they're doing all kinds of shit about Confederate flags and shit around here, man. It's just, here's the thing. You can't erase history. You can only learn from it. And clearly we got a long way to fucking go. And especially here in Charlottesville. We're still recovering. Miss Hire should have a real memorial instead of graffiti on a wall or a mural. They need to give this woman a real memorial because she died for some damn statues, over some racist ass shit. And this young lady was a white lady dying for a black person's cause, And the thing is, racism is something that can be contained and controlled. First and foremost, no one can help what race they're born in. That's the first thing that everyone has to accept. I'm mixed, so I don't have the right to be a racist. If I gotta say something about white people, I gotta say something about black people. If I gotta say something about blacks and whites, I gotta say something about Native Americans who are Asian. So I'm the biggest non-allowed to be racist person ever because I have to be fair. I had a white grandfather who had a mixed son who had my mom with my grandmother who is Native American and black, or just Native American because she was adopted, so we don't really fucking know. We do know that she's Native American, though. My dad's dad was black. His mom was Native American. Her mom was Native American. But when you do the Google search for the Powell Heights Reservation, they got them marked as mulatto. So, like I said, the whole racial thing, I don't have the right to be a racist because I'm mixed. So I'm the last person who can go around calling people honkies, niggas, and chinks. That shit's not cool. And I'm sorry if I just offended everybody with that honkies, niggas, and chink remark. But it's the truth. I'm all three of those. So, I got no right to be racist whatsoever. The problem with the world is that no one else understands that when you are created in the great spectrum of life, or when they pull your ass out the matrix, you didn't get to choose. You don't get to choose your gender, and you don't get to choose your race. Those are the two things that you legally cannot change. Scientifically now, and only scientifically, you can change your gender. They've had sex change operations since the 40s, I think. I could be wrong there. But for the most part, you can't change your race. You can bleach your skin all you want, but you're still going to produce a child of color. Alright? Racism is only a problem because no one doesn't want to sit down and talk about why the fuck we hate each other for something that we can't change. No, and that's the problem with that. You know. But yeah, it's nice to me. I'm not the only mutt around here. But the thing with that, people need to open their eyes. It's a lot of us mixed people out here now. And there's going to be a lot more before it's over with. We can't help who we fall in love with. You can condemn somebody for being an Asian man with a white woman, or a white woman with a black man, or an Asian woman with a white man, or a black man with an Asian woman. You get the gist. I'm not going to try to break down into that shit. But the whole point is, race, we all human. And if we couldn't procreate with other races, then we probably all wouldn't look the same on the outside, with the exception of our skin color. When the Creator created us, I'm pretty sure He created us to be fruitful and multiply, as the Bible says. The problem is, a lot of people have been raised old school racist. When the alt-right came here, they had a bigger issue than the Klan. The Ku Klux Klan came here 2 weeks before the alt-right movement. There was not a racist person hurt. They spoke their piece, and nothing bad happened, which was kind of astonishing because all the things you've ever heard from the Ku Klux Klan in school was they don't like black people. They hate people who like black people. If you're not blonde-haired and blue-eyed, they don't like you. And they didn't like Jewish people. Ku Klux Klan had multiple enemies, but they weren't as bad as the alt-right. And then you had the neo-Nazis. The neo-Nazis didn't like nobody. They didn't like the Klan. They didn't like anybody colored. They didn't like anybody of non-color. If you weren't a neo-Nazi, you weren't in, you were dead. They didn't have no discrimination. They killed blacks, they killed whites, they killed Asians. All of a sudden, I don't know where the hell this alt-right thing came from. But, they just hate everybody. They came through. Yeah. They came through with torches, mad at other white people and Hebrew people, because I don't really know what you classify Jewish people as, but they were hollering something, we will not let you replace us, and they were talking about Jews, and I was like, okay, well, I have never met a Jewish person darker than me. I've never really been able to tell if a person was Jewish or just Italian. Like I said, I don't have the right to be a racist, and I'm not going to sit here, hey, are you a Jewish person? Probably not the best idea. Racism is a hot pocket. It's not something you just go flaunting out. Now, I'm the actual reverse of that, because if people ask me what I am, I tell them what I am. And I've been mistaken for a lot of shit. Yes, I've been mistaken for a Mexican. Newsflash for you, Mexicans are Native American. So a lot of people don't know that. Now, that ends when you hit New Mexico, apparently, and if you're a Mexican that was born in Mexico, they don't count you as Native Americans, though you are. Same thing with Incans, Aztecs, and Mayans. They're all Native Americans. They just splintered further down and got an oppressive foothold in the countries they were in. Once am I 35 and my girlfriend is 52. Hey, whatever works, man. You're just into women who have more knowledge. We'll leave it right there, Mr. Morris. You can get where I'm going with that. That was all about sex right there. Straight up and down. That was just about sex. I didn't want to call your woman a MILF. But hey, I'm into all women. As long as they're over 18 and old enough where I can have a decent conversation. Without like the Me Too movement coming in and slapping me in the face. But yeah, man, for that whole thing, it's just that we get racist when we see a white cop attacking a black person, or we see a black cop attacking a black person, or a cop in general attacking anyone. We go anti-cop. In that video, I don't really know what the fuck went wrong, because I don't know where it began. I know where I came in at. I played the video 9 times. And I posted it here on Facebook as well before I started this live conversation. And I posted my first video on Facebook. So they're both on my timeline somewhere. The thing is, when we eliminate race and go straight for the problem, we can fix the problem. We take race out of it, you see one cop and one suspect. If you can get rid of their colors, you can get rid of the cop being white and the kid being black, and my black pride statement, we could figure out what the hell went wrong. But we could figure out even more. The video started when the cop pulled up. No. And I don't know if there's any more videos out there on that. Excuse me. But I do know that when it comes to these things, you know, once race is involved, it's straight up no longer about the crime or the commission of whatever the fuck caused this problem. It becomes racial. And no matter how I spin this, the cop lost his job. The kid probably got his feelings hurt as well as his neck. And the smartest individual in there was the kid talking about the cop's ring and trying to de-escalate the situation. The kid, on the other hand, who couldn't get his shit together and just started like trying to buck up at the cop, that's where shit went wrong. We have to teach our kids better. We have to, regardless of their color. And kids get big, you know. I'm 5'3". You know, if you want to count that half, I'm 5'3.5". The Army didn't count the half, so I'm 5'3". I'm the size of the actual Wolverine character. When we bring our kids, this isn't really much of a girl thing. No, this is more of a boy thing than a girl thing. So, ladies, if you're in a family and you have a husband and a son, you and your husband need to really sit down and talk to your sons. This ain't really a girl thing. You don't really see too many girls bucking up at cops and popping off. If they pop off, it's just a little bit of mouth. And first thing that a male cop has to do, because it's like procedure, I don't know if it's state to state, but I know if they're going to frisk them, they have to call a female officer in. And so they can't literally, the male cops can no longer frisk female cops. Again, let me clarify, I do not know if that's state to state. I know here in Virginia that if a female is involved, they have to get a female officer to frisk the female suspect. The cop can put the female in cuffs, but he cannot frisk her. Now, if in the event that it's an emergency or if like there's like a shootout involved, he probably can frisk her then. But for the most part, traffic stop, she's getting agitated or whatever, you gotta get a female officer in there, because if not, everything can go wrong with that. Hello, brother. Long time no see. Hello. I put up some special videos for us yesterday, matter of fact, for the Guardians of the Earth. So you can probably go check those out on Kung Fu Havoc #2. That's my boy Tay. He was in my movie. I do mention you, by the way. Anyway, to end this video's topic as soon as possible, because I've also been recording it, you know, and that's like 30 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and end the Kung Fu Havoc 2 video right now as we speak.